What's going on, DBS family? My name is Peter Cattani, and I just want to do a quick shout out to Philadelphia. My father got me this shirt, so I wanted to share. I got good friends over there named Jason, Brian, and Eric. Anyone else that I'm missing, forgive me, but I gotta go to the deck profile. So I'm doing a deck profile of a deck that's coming out in March. Since classification is next week, yeah, we pretty much talked about everyone from every little leader, which is four, maybe four. There's a fifth one, but no one's ever going to play. It's the Black Dragon Purunga. Hopefully I'm saying this right. We never had to do a deck profile because we just had to switch to the Shenron, and boom, it's a Shenron deck, and who hasn't seen one? Yay! All right, but the deck that I wanted to show you that's coming out in March is... boom, boom, boom. Not this one. Not this one. But Lord Slug. It's an old leader, but when it came out, it didn't bring anything. Like, there was like 3-4 Slug army cards, and it just didn't work together. It was just bad. The leader was good, but the support was bad. Now the new stuff coming out for it, which I honestly think maybe it's just like one card, it just makes it so much better. But let's take a look at what it is. And bam, that's the deck. Let's see. Yeah, when it's new cards, it's literally this card, and it literally defined the deck so much better because it was too heavy, too slow, all this one card made this deck playable. So let me show you why my choices are. Mind you, I hate 4-0s, but this deck deserves a lot of 4-0s because it's just constant. These are the best cards for it. And then you got a nice little 2-0s. Now I get a little spice there, a little 3, but I'll explain each card and why I put it in there. So boom. First is going to be Lord Slug. Really interesting leader. On its front side, once per turn, you choose a life, add it to your hand. This card gains critical, so shout out to Marcel. Woo. Really good ability. It's technically like drawing a card on the Awakened side because you just take a life, add it to your hand, so it's a +1. Critical is very good. We all know how good it is. When you awaken it, you draw 2 cards instead of untap 2. If it was untap 2, it would actually be better because especially how this deck works, but most leaders that don't draw when they're on the front side, on the front side, when they don't draw, they usually have Awaken draw 2 cards, so it balances out so you have hand. It's if he had untap 2, it would be a lot better, but your hand size would be low, so it's called balance. On the back side, when he swings, you draw a card. Awesome. It's not like Wish leaders that, when they swing, they don't draw a card. They have to choose it. So you draw a card, active main, once per turn. You place a card from your hand to the drop area, and then your opponent has to do the same. Your opponent gets to choose. The only reason, okay, so that effect to me is not good. But for the theme of the deck and what you're trying to do to your opponent, you're trying to make their hand size so low that this ability comes up every now and then, especially with this leader being able to draw 2 cards. It's just trying to get advantage over your opponent. So let me show you the structure, the core of the deck. Boom, another shout out to Marcel. 3 Champas. It could be the Kai, it doesn't matter, it's just something to double strike, but Champa, he's cool, it's a god, he's looking out for you. Bam. Since your leader is critical when you activate the ability on the front side, and another card in your deck has critical, this card is really beneficial. So 3 of is totally worth it. Your opponent has to worry about it. When your opponent is not awakened and he's 10k and you're 10k, you have critical, you get to swing. All right, I'm swinging, I'm going after you with crit. Now I'll make it double strike, and I want to pump it up enough. So I'm going to take the 2 life, not try to lose hand advantage, and you lose life. And if you lose life and they don't go to your hand, that's super beneficial. So we put 3 Champas in there. Next card is the card that made Lord Slug cards playable. It's very simple. It's a 1-drop with barrier, so it stays on the board. There's not too much cards that get rid of this at the moment. There is cards, Clash of Fate introduced cards that kill barrier, but later on, and it's a 1-drop. If you killed it, that's fine. I'm pretty sure I can replace it. His permanent is you can only have 1 of these on the board, and that's a shame because if you had more, tier deck. You can only have 1 of these on the board in play in your battle area, and reduce the cost of all Slug army cards in your hand by 1. Awesome. If you had multiple, this card would be incredible, but since you can only have 1 on board, it's fine. This is the card we're pretty much going to mulligan for, so all our other turns are like in sequence. So next card is Lord Slug, return to form. Okay, cool. It's a 2-drop. When you play this card, you get to choose one Slug Army card from your deck with energy cost 4 or less and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. It's a 2-drop, so it's kind of like but with the new 1-drop, it makes it into a 1-drop. So turn 1 this, next turn you can literally play this guy for 1. You can play 2 of them. What? Awesome, and just get advantage, making a board really good. Card solid. Big fan, Lord Slug. You need Lord Slug because their bond, you'll see later, needs Lord Slug cards, so we like this. Next one is the super combo. We chose this. When I say we, me and Marcel were talking about like, hey, what do you think? Is this better or this better? That's the reason why you see 3 Champas. I like Champa, not denying it, but I'm usually a fan of 2. You know, Marcel pushed for 3. I'm like, all right, fine. For this deck, it deserves 3. So we decided that this super combo is better than the other Namekian super combo where if your life is 4 or less, you get to draw a card, but it's 10k always. This card activates at 5 or less. I still fight for the other Piccolo, but it's one of those choices like you can literally do a mix and match where you can write 2 and 2 and they're almost the same situation. Because let's say you're going against Victory Strike and he's never touched your life, but then again, my leader's going to awaken myself anyways. This card is just beneficial because let's say I go down to 5 with his effect critical. I can't awaken just yet, but now I can Champa and super combo and almost lose no advantage over it. So this one is the one we chose. I don't want to say the better one, but the one we chose that we found that it's just better for what we're trying to do. So this is a super combo what we choose. Next one is this guy. I'm not going to say his name because I'm going to mess up. Something with a Z. The Loyal. Pride. He's a blocker that if you have a Lord Slug card in your battle area or leader area, our leader is Lord Slug, so awesome, you can reduce this card without paying its cost. You can reduce it basically by 2. You can play it without paying its cost. Cool, I'm reading wrong. It's a free blocker that comes out. They're good. It's almost like having a negate that you get to play for free. The main thing that sells this card is it's a Slug Army card on the board. It's something that comes out free, and I believe this is actually from the new set too. It's not something that we had before, now that I'm thinking about it. So it comes on the board for free, and then like you're gonna see where it's gonna be bound 3. We're gonna need more Slug Army. This thing comes out for free and it's beneficial. It negates an attack. Strong card automatically. It's good, solid. Boom. This card that wasn't good, but now that the 1-drop makes it a 2-drop, it's very good. It's critical. It's a 3-drop, but mind you, we want to play it for 2. It's Slug Army and auto bond 2. So you need 2 Slug Army, himself and something else. What's the something else? The 1-drop. When you play this card, when this card attacks, if your leader is, sorry, not when you play this card, when you attack. Cool. When this card attacks, if your leader is a Slug Army, which Lord Slug is, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in a drop area. So automatically, it's taking away a card out of their hand. If they take the hit, it's critical. They get no advantage out of this. So every time it swings, you get advantage. And the fact that it pretty much comes down to 2-drop. Your 2 drops, your turn 2 is going to be solid because your turn 1 again is always going to be this 1-drop just to set up your whole play. The fact that its barrier is most likely going to stay. With the new introduction of the Goku 2-drop that stops everything and borrows more hate for barrier cards early game is going to be added to most decks. But hopefully it doesn't affect it this much because I'm already thinking, I'm like, oh, no one's ever going to be able to kill this. But some people are already trying out that 1-drop Frieza that taps anything. And if they tap this, it's a shame. It dies, but it's okay. The deck still runs. And we can grab this later on. But this is your turn 1. Your turn 2 can be this. Most of the time it's going to be this. But another solid turn 2 would be him. Just because you get the bond activated, you start swinging 15. If you went first, you're on 2. Your opponent's going on 2. He has to deal with this 15k. So it's just pressure. If he doesn't deal with it, guess what? I'm getting rid of another card in your hand. Good card. Boom. For other super combos, because we do keep energies open. Just like when I said our turn 2 will be... It could be either or, but if it's turn 1, turn 2, we'll have 1 energy open. So that means we can have a super combo open. It's green, so we get to charge it if we don't need it. It's not a big deal. And it's just more super combos so we can pressure with our critical leader on the front side where we can Champa and super combo, and all we lost was one card in your hand to crit them for 2. Solid. Boom. I put 2 Kami Power Piccolo. Does it go with the theme of the deck? No, it's not a Lord Slug army, but it's Namekian, so it's called Flavor. And another thing that we were having problems with is almost no removal in the deck. You can attack stuff, sure, not a problem, but we want constant removal. So when they drop 7-drop Cell, it's a 30k on the board, and you really can't kill it. You have to attack over it. That sucks. You need to have some kind of removal. So I just put 2. Theoretically, 3 would be better. But the fact that it's barrier, or 1-drop barrier, it's already like a combo where your opponent can't really deal with it unless they attack active or play Zeno. Purunga too, that's another option. It stays on the board and just pops things for us. It's never really going to swing because it's double strike and those cards get added to the hand. We don't want that. We want to always be trying to crit him. Eventually it comes out to a point where he does get cards in our hand, but we don't want to swing with this until we really need to. So this is our removal of the deck. Bam. This guy. Monster card. It should be an SR. It's not. It's a regular rare. Auto Bond 2, Slug Army. So you need him and another Slug Army. The 1-drop makes it a 3-drop. I'm gonna constantly say this, but it's very good. If you have basically 2 Slug Army, awesome. When you play this card, if your leader is a Slug Army card, Lord Slug, choose 1 Slug Army in your drop area, 3 or less, and play it. Then choose 1 of your energy and switch it to active. Huge. It brings out bodies on the board. It untaps 1 of your energies. It's just great. Everything good about this card. Everything's good about this card. The fact that you can play it by turn 3, so your turn 1 will be this. Turn 2, we can pretty much make this happen, so we can search for the 4-drop. And then turn 3, we play the 4-drop. And let's say you comboed with this guy that I can't say his name, but Warrior. Let's say you combo Defending Your Life. For whatever reason, it's in the drop area now. Lord Slug can bring it out. If that did not happen for whatever reason, by turn 3, let's say they swung at you, it's acceptable to say they swung at you. So turn 1, 2, and 3, I activated the ability each time. So now I'm awakened. I drew 2 cards. I activate main, discard a card. You have to discard a card. And then this is what I discarded. I play turn 3, my Lord Slug. Boom. I'm not even tapped out because I get to untap 1 energy. And I brought out that guy, swing. I'm just destroying my opponent's hand. And that's what this leader is. I wouldn't, if there was a tier list, I definitely would put him, I don't want to mess up on this one. S tier, A tier. I'll put him B tier. Maybe he deserves to be A tier, but like me and Marcel fight about that all the time. So I want to put him in B because his gimmick is really cool, but it's a gimmick nonetheless. It's solid though, so we're going to see. And then, this is MVP, but the MVP becomes MVP, like Super MVP. That sounds even better because it's Dragon Ball Super. Bam! This monster. It only costs 2 green and 1 card from your hand, so not bad. Double strike. Bond 3. He evolves. EX evolves. See, EX evolve over a 4-drop Lord Slug, and this is the 4-drop Lord Slug that you're gonna evolve over. When he evolves, bam! Bond 3. Himself and 2 other Lord Slug armies. When you play this card, nah, that's not right. It's not when you play it. When you when you play it. I didn't even know that. I've always just evolved over this. But okay, so when you play this card, so you can play it as early as turn 4. You can play it, but if you play it whenever, because he can technically be a 5-drop with the 1-drop. He's not 6, he can technically be 5. But when you play this card, your opponent chooses 3. When you play this card, choose up to 3. So you get to choose. You don't look at your opponent's hand, but you get to pay, I want this card, that card, and this card. You pick 3 and put them in the drop area. That's huge. Instead of your opponent, like when you cell chain them, they get to pick the 3 favorite cards and the rest goes away. This one gets to you get to choose. So very big difference. Very good. You can hit something that's super important to them and they go to the drop area. Very strong. Turn 4, you can bring this out. So let's say turn 1, I did this guy. Then turn 2, I didn't get the best play ever. For whatever reason, I just did this guy instead. Okay, cool. Turn 3, I actually brought this to search to turn 4, dude. This guy, I'm sorry, I'm going all around. Forgive me. Usually these videos are better. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is if this guy is here on the board already, and it's turn 4, you can play this guy for 3 and bring out somebody. So now you have 3 Lord Slugs on the board. He untaps 1 energy, so you pay 3 to do him. You get to untap. You pay 3 to do him. 1's out there. You get to untap 1. So you're 4 energy. I'm so sorry, guys. This is so bad. 4 energy. You pay 3. How am I going to represent 3? Perfect. 3. You have 1 energy open, but his ability untaps 1 energy, so you have 2. Great. So you have, let's say, 2 green energies, because that's the dream. Then you evolve over that 4 drop. Bam. By pitching a card into your hand, which is completely easy to do. You EX evolve, bring this out. That Lord Slug just brought out somebody else. So you had the 1 drop, someone else, you just evolved. Now you have 3. Your opponent now has to lose 3 cards that you get to choose. Very good. And this is theoretically the boss of the deck. Something simple. It's not, oh my god, this deck is broken, must be banned. Nothing like that. It's very fun to play. The next best card that we have is Dark Temptation Toa. I read that right. We played this one over any other overrun cards. One, I don't care about Fu. It's not that it's hard to get 7 in the graveyard, but you have to pay attention to get 7 in the graveyard. With this one, we can constantly try to get 3 in the grave, pretty much easy. If it's dead in your hand, your Awakened Side, you get to pitch a card in your hand. So if this card is dead, might as well just pitch it. If you have 2, you can pitch it and then try to overrun. We want to ruin our opponent's hand, and that's the goal of the deck. So this card helps us just by discarding 1 and gives our leader 5k more to swing at to make them defend. Good card, probably the best one that anything that has hand destruction and is green is playing. It's this, usually this girl for overrun. Not bad. Now I gotta show you the text. This negate's way too good. I'd normally put negates at 3, sometimes 2, but this negate is that good that I'm okay with 4 at any time, because I know I'm safe, and it just pops things on the board. Awesome. Good against 1-2 swap. Most likely it's still going to be alive. I want it to be dead already, but honestly the bullet cards might not be enough. We wanted to put blue in there so we can say, oh, this is really good against 1-2 swap, but it just ruins the whole theme of the deck. So just to make it simple, boom, hopefully by March, Classic Face killed 1-2 swap. I know it doesn't, but hopefully it kills it. You don't see it too much, and then comes this set in March, we don't have to deal with it. Yay, we don't have to put blue in every deck. Awesome. That's kind of like the theory of what it has. So come March, this is a deck that you can look at. The next card, everyone talks about this card. They're like, oh my god, this card's so great. It's not. If we had a leader that untaps 2, like started at Goku, but for green, awesome. This card will be extremely good. But it's one of those situations that, like, once you're ahead of your game, like I already explained how turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 pretty much works. Turn 4 is when you're pretty much going to be setting this up. And if you went first, awesome. Your turn 4, you do something else, and then keep 2 open so your opponent's turn 4, when they try to tap out for something, boom, I got you. Then this card's amazing, great. But against Shenron, which I'm predicting, it's my guess, that Shenron's going to be the best leader. Against Shenron, let's say you counter something they play for 4. All right, cool. All right, well, Child List, you're back. All right, well, that's cool. And now you wasted 2 energy for no reason. Something like that. Oh, but what if it's not Shenron? If it's not Shenron, you're right. Then they didn't tap out. They tapped out, and cool, I ruined their turn. Great. This card is cool. It's very balanced. If anything, I'm not saying it's bad. If it was 1 energy, 2 broken. The fact that it's 2 and only hits 4 or less, it's a balanced card. But I'm trying out in this deck because what we're doing is ruining their hand. And once they try to do that safe play, like, oh, I need to get back resource, all cost Vegeta, I got the answer. And that's why we put it in the deck. So, boom, there's 2 that's used for later on in the game. Mid to late game, this card is effective. Because, again, turn 1, 2, and 3, you already know what you want to do. And that's the game plan. We're not trying to leave energy open those turns just to do this card. And then the best card in this deck is this one. I can't say it. Assimilate, something like that. But this card's just really good. It's 0 cost, active main. Choose 1 green or yellow Namekian card with energy costs 2 or less from your deck and add it to your hand. There's only 2 options. There's only 8 cards in the deck that you can pretty much grab, but they're solid cards. You can grab your super combo. It's a Namekian. Even if you chose the other one that's Piccolo, it's Namekian. It works. And then the other Namekian that we can grab, because it's not just an event card just to grab super combos, it's our main piece. the one that searches every other piece. For a 2-drop, sets it up perfect. At no point, like, that's almost like having 7 of these in the deck, because you have 4 and then 3 of them that searches it. So your turn 2 would pretty much always be this thing. Even if this is your turn 1, this is your turn 2. Even if you didn't get this turn 1, you play this on turn 2 to search this piece and get the ball rolling then. Because then, let's say your turn 1, you did nothing, you passed. Great. Turn 2, you search for this with this. Bring it out, awesome. Search to turn 1. By turn 3, you're a little behind, but it's okay. You're trying to catch back up. You play this guy for 1, and then for 2, you play the warrior, and yeah, you have the ball rolling. And turn 4, we can do that same play that I told you, where you literally drop this guy, get 2 energies basically open, and then evolve. The only thing is, the 2-drop does not search this, but it searches any other Slug army card, and this card is a great addition for this deck. Grab your super combo in case you already have the 2-drop. You know what? You can never have too much super combos. You want to dig through them. So grab your super combos too. This card is solid. If somehow magically you have all 8 targets out of your deck, it's fine, because our leader can just pitch the card and they have to discard a card anyway. So, boom. All right. So, real quick, I wanted to talk about a card that you can theoretically put in there. If it wasn't the counter card, the counter card deserves to be in there. It's good enough that it works mid-late game, so when your opponent top decks the answer like, I drew this best card ever, and it's 4 or less, boom, play it, and you feel good. You're like, I won, I had it. Cool. But another thing that kind of like is gimmick, and I like gimmicks, I like combos, is this card. I'm a huge fan of this card. It can go in this deck too, so like, let's say you took out the 2 counters and played this, you already have a solid turn 1 play, that one guy. But another turn 1 play could be this. It does nothing for the turn that you play, but most of the time your opponent's not going to main the removal of field cards. There's only one card that does that right now anyways, which is a Vegeta that I can find eventually in my life. It's a 2-drop, it looks really cool, and bam. This is the only card in the game that can on point get rid of a field card. The other one is Broly, but no one's really going to be playing that leader, especially with this guy coming out. I hope that people actually side, because there's field cards that are really good, like Planet M2. It's a solid card. This card gets rid of it. It's 15k, it's Vegeta, strong enough. A tech answer, at least a sideboard answer. Lately, side has been more constant, just the same 15 cards, like, oh, I'm putting this, and everyone's copying it. But nonetheless, this field card should be safe within the meantime. And then when you play your 4-drop that brings something back out to the field, you get to draw a card. Cool, it replaces itself. Or it has another fundamental of it. I only run 2 Kami Piccolos. This card can grab me back Kami Piccolos, or the best thing, I can literally sack it off for 4 and bring out the Lord Slug 4-drop that brings out somebody else and untaps an energy. It has multiple use, but it wasn't good enough to be main decked. It was just one of those gimmicks like, oh, it's really cool, it works in this scenario. But most of the time, this card's really going to be good for, like, again, Shenron leaders with Child Wish. So every time they Child Wish, they get to draw a card, and it's more advantage, and it's just better in those decks. But just to see more options, you can do it like that. After that, I think that was it. You know, this could be another counter card, be cool, but right now we're trying out new stuff. The counter dude, a lot better. And yeah, this is my take of the deck of Lord Slug. Let's see, view again one more time. Different overarm cards you could do. I'm not a big fan of ratios of 4, but like this guy needs to be 4 because he's the only thing that's not searchable, and we want to make sure we have it in hand. You can even if you brought this turn 3, cool, you defend it. If he stayed on the board and you have 2 of these turn 4, and you have all 4 green energy, which most of the time that's all you're going to charge, you can play 2 of them. Monster, destroy your opponent's hand. So again, you can't play it right now. You can't play this till March, but on tap, you can have fun with it. I don't know if Octagon has these cards, but it does give this deck a try. Definitely try the Kami. You're going to find that you don't have enough space, or you don't have a removal in the deck that you need to put something solid. Kami is definitely that answer. It helps really well. It just sucks that it's turn 4, but it is what it is. You could cut one of the cells super combos and put a third one so you can see this more, but these are just ideas. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, guys.